Yo, yo, what is good? How's everybody doing? I gotta make sure that this shit isn't fucking up. So let me know if the audio sounds alright. You know. If you guys haven't seen, I'm doing a Monster Cat Instagram takeover today. Just dropped a fire pita making tutorial. Would definitely recommend checking it out. Perfect for bulking season. Hell yeah. Love it when the mic sounds good. Thank you very much, Sir Anton. Howdy, everybody. Ooh. Major hiccup. Bear with me for just a moment. I'm gonna go ahead and do the social post so we can get some friends in here. If you ain't redlining, you ain't headlining. Yo, once again, I'm going to reiterate, if nobody saw what I said before, I'm taking over the Monster Cat Instagram, and I just dropped the most fire. Where's my webcam? Pita making tutorial that you can have. Check it out. There's one. I got another one sitting right over there. I hope the cat doesn't fucking get it. He might. Big pita guy here. Love pitas. Alright, like I said, I'm posting real quick so that we can get some more homies. And then I'm going to get started. Project file's up and running. Hopefully the audio will work. What's everybody having for breakfast today? Oh, thank you, Anton. Yeah, I moved everything down to the basement. I'm going to get some sick-ass like LEDs and shit over there. That's a work in progress. I got to find somebody to make like a custom LED thing. Coffee and coffee, hell yeah. I had my cup of joe earlier. It was fire. McCafe, high key, the best coffee you can get. I love that shit. I get to post on the Monster Cat IG because I'm doing that takeover. What a flex. Let's get some Monster Cat fans in here. Alright, now just doing mine. Alright, so before I get started, what do you guys want to see the most in this project file so I can like know exactly where I'm going to start and all that shit? Let me know what you're the most curious on. Yo, thank you. for the comments on the No Idea remix. My ass is sour. Thank you. Yo, Janu, you should have just got an email from the Patreon. I re-updated the link so that's the right one, and it links to the project now. Sorry about that. I'm a fucking idiot. Sometimes, you know, we just out here grinding, getting shit wrong. All right. No, dude, why do I always do this? Fuck. Whenever I do like a swipe up, I put watch crank instead of watch Crankdat. Alright, so I'm going to tell you before I even start this tutorial, the only plugin I used in the entire thing is Kenny Beats Drip. No, not Kenny Beats, sorry. Kyle Beats. Right? Kyle Beats? The only plugin. That's it. No other plugins were used in the making of this song. And as you can predict, I made the whole track in 2 fucking clicks. Just 2 clicks in his darkroom. Momo! What the fuck was that? Alright, last one, Twitter. Then we're in business.
One more song that
Dude, I think I have a cavity. I think I have my first cavity. My, like, tooth hurts. And I don't know what's wrong. I've been brushing the shit out of it. Hasn't gotten much better. Sad day. Probably have to go to the dentist sometime soon. All right. Let me just check and make sure I didn't fuck anything up. Yep. We are good to go. All right. Microphone may or may not be in the way. We'll see. Welcome back, everybody. All right. Everybody wants to see the vocal. How to get vocals on top of the mix. That's easy in the song. Drip. Yep, using that. Kyle Beats, baby. Show the vocal chops. Yep, we got that. All right, let's get it. Time to rock. Once again, if you haven't seen it, my pita making tutorial is on the Monstercat Instagram right now. Would definitely recommend. All right, yeah. Let's get into it. All right. From the top, here we go. Let's make sure it doesn't lag and also sounds okay. Cool, let's go through that part. First things first, by the way, if you want this project file, you can literally get it. It's available as part of my Mechanized Master tier on Patreon, which comes with a fuck ton more than just project files. That's just the icing on the cake. So go check that out if you want to. All you got to do is hit the boom. Oh, I didn't even type in the right spot. Go boom. Patreon. Just like that. All right. Also, can any of you guys let me know, is like my mic volume too loud? Do I need to turn it down? Do I need to turn up the Ableton? What's good with volume? Let me know, because I can switch shit around. It's hard for me to tell though. Mic down 2 decibels. Got it. Ableton sounded a bit low. Okay, let's turn that up. Cool. All right, that should be better. Yeah, Razer finally got me back that microphone, so I can kind of vouch for Razer again, although it shouldn't have broken in the first place. So yeah, I don't know. All right. Breaking down this part right here. Not too much going on. First things first, the very first sound that you hear is this high string. This is a stock Ableton string with an RC20 on it. Yeah, I gotta... that's probably not even showing up here. Hang on. Yeah, super, super quiet. You can barely even tell it's there. Second thing that we have here is the intro drums. I'm going to turn up Ableton even more. Like that. That should be good. Cool, so all this is one of these shaker drums. I have this, let's see. I have no idea where I got this sample from. Probably Splice. And then just a clap right here. This is from the Waka Flocka sample pack that I've had for like 6 years. And that's it. That's the intro. Well, that's the intro. Now let's get into this part right here. I gotta turn my headphones back down. That might be a bit too loud. Let me turn this down. Okay. Everybody wants to know about the vocal chops. Let's do those last. We still got this high string carrying through this entire section. We got some keys that come in right now. This is, let's unfreeze this and check it out. This is an expand plug. I think this is just a brass. Yeah. So this is Expand 2, which I highly recommend. Great, like, preset plugin. Probably going to be on sale on Black Friday. It usually is. And then the one that I'm just using is in brass and woodwind, and it's trumpet section. So, but you could use it. Honestly, you could probably just use like Ableton brass, and it wouldn't sound much different. But this is just playing some chords. And actually, I will take these chords and export them let's put them in the cool. So now you guys will get that in the November sample pack on the Patreon right there. Darkroom chords. Money. All right. Vocal chop is a little bit more complicated. Let's get into it. So what this is this is a Dylan Matthew acapella from Splice. Let me find it. It's the Lost in Your Eyes. Okay, so that is this right here.
Hold tight, I'll be here with you all night. My mind, I'm getting lost in your eyes.
Sick. So when I make the new track that I'm going to work on after I like show you guys what's going on in this one, I'll actually like demonstrate how I would go about chopping it. But basically what I do, and as you can see, I consolidated it here, but I basically just go through and I chop up different syllables in the vocal that I have right there, and then I just like pitch them and make a little melody out of it. So in this one I did the da-na-na-na-na-na, that little thing. I just made that using just chops of the vocal. And then here, let's unfreeze this. I'm gonna group everything and then turn everything off so that you can hear exactly what it sounds like without any processing, because it should sound roughly the same. Maybe I can, let's check this out. Yeah, so there's the literal chops that I made. And as you see, the reason I consolidated it was because I turned it up one. I transposed it up one semitone. So those chops right here, you can clearly hear that's Dylan Matthew. And then I have a little altar boy on it. This is just a mono sandwich because my little altar boy, for whatever reason, likes to glitch and starts phasing when I don't have like a mono in, mono out system going on. So then all I have going on here is I have this little... Oh, I guess I don't even have any automation. I usually will do some formant automation on some vocal chops to get some cool like talking tones out, but I didn't even do that. I just turned it down. So in Little Altar Boy, the formant's down -6.7 semitones, I suppose. So it sounds like this. Saturator for good measure. Camel Crusher for probably no good reason. Chorus to add a little bit of extra effect going on, a little bit of OTT action. Let's see, what percent? 20%, not very much. Delay just for a little bit extra character going on, fill up some space. EQ, low pass that bitch, because there's probably some junk from the Camel Crusher down on that low end. And then a limiter just to catch those peaks. I use a limiter as if it were like a glue compressor in this context. RC20 hasn't turned on yet. I'm not quite sure when that does. Looks like over here. No, not even there. So yeah, I'm not really sure what the RC20 is doing or when it comes on. Oh, it comes on right here. Oh, I guess I used it, so I don't use RC20 for this anymore, but I used it for this little like wobble. I wanted to give it like almost a little bit of a, nope, not that. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Sorry. No, stop. I wanted to give it almost like a little like vibrato. Nowadays, if I wanted to do that, I would just do it with the, what you call it? In Melda, there's a, no. Yeah. M vibrato right there. Easy. I didn't know it was there at the time. I made this like 4 months ago. So anyways, yeah, that's the vocal chop. Do you guys have any questions on that? Anybody want to know what's good with the vocal chop? I still got a whole extra pita. Hey yo. Cool, yeah, like I said, I'll do another one when I start working on the new track after we get through this whole thing. So yeah, that just like carries on and plays that melody. And I don't even know, what is this one? Let's see, maybe a harmony? Oh yeah, this is just a little little synthy thing that I made, kind of like the call response. So it goes, oh fuck. And I froze that probably just to save CPU, but all that is oh, somebody had a question. Hang on one second. I'll answer that in just a second. But anyways, this was just Serum, probably a saw wave, and then I just put on some like RC20. Or look, check this out. You guys will be getting this one soon to all the Patreon homies. We got this one, which will be respectfully retitled Crankdat Easy Lo-Fi, which again I'll show you when I start working on a new track. But it's pretty much the same thing as RC20. I've been using that instead of RC20, save some CPU. So yeah, I just made that, threw a delay on it, and that's all it is. Saw wave with some delay playing a little melody. This is a cymbal transition. I'm not sure why it's grouped in the way that it is, but it worked a lot less efficiently 4 months ago. Here we got the analog bass. This is, so unfortunately I froze this one as well, but the sample is actually here in November. I have Darkroom analog bass, so if you want that sample, you guys in the Patreon will get it next month. Starting at Crank Prentice. Let me take a bite. No, fuck, my pita ripped. Alright, to answer the question, where do you get your vocals? Depends what you're asking about. In the context of this vocal chop, it's this Dylan Matthew one from Splice, which I do use his a lot because his vocal tone is fantastic, very easy to chop. Yo! Bro! I'm fucking dead. Dude, oh my god. Bro, I have to thank you infinitely for this Splice pack, dude. Like, you and Kara made this shit, and it's a lifesaver for me. It is because your vocal tones are so good that every single time I need a vocal chop, I don't even consider anything else. It's just straight to that fucking pack. So thank you for your blessing on this music scene, and with that pack in particular. I absolutely love you, sir. Oh, shit. Also, for the record, coming to the, oh, what was it? The I Tour. That's what they called it, right? When you and Scott and Derek came through Pittsburgh, that was hands down the best show I've ever seen in my entire life. The best show. And I was like very curious how they were going to go about doing like the whole live performance, how you guys were going to go about doing the whole like live performance thing. Because I can't tell you how many times I've seen that done, and it's just like, it's not there. Like, it does not work. And it was like, it made the show. Like, to all you guys watching, it made the fucking show. Dylan came out about, oh my god, thanks for subbing, dog. Homie came out like probably 30 minutes close to the end, so Derek and Scott were just playing like ragers the entire first, like, I don't know, it was probably an hour and a half long show. They were playing ragers for like the first 45 minutes, and then they like cut to black. Out of nowhere comes Dylan on a piano and just start, I think it was might have been, it was either Love Is Gone or it was one of the other ones, but just spotlight on. Craziest shit I've ever seen. I've never seen a crowd lose their shit when a vocalist comes on. Dylan is not a vocalist. Dylan is a fucking performer. It was amazing. He made the show obviously Derek and Scott are goated, but we already knew that. It was the most impressive thing I've seen in a long time. So, long story short, good Sir Dylan, I love you. I love your fucking work. I love your music. I love your performance. I will still vouch for that for the rest of my entire life. That was the greatest performance I've ever seen, especially in like electronic music. So good shit, sir. Can't wait to come to the solo tour. Beyond excited. And thank you again for subscribing. All right. Anyways, I just lost my cool there for a second. Was fanboying a bit too hard. This analog bass. If you want it, it's in the Patreon. You'll get it in the November pack. I can't remember how I made it, but I probably just used like a serum patch. It sounds pretty saw dominant, so my guess is it was just something like this, right? This is what does it right here, is this one right here. Nope. Turn the volume down. Yeah, so it's probably something like this. That sounds very similar. It's almost identical. So there you go. You just saw how I made it, right? Perfect. And then this is just the sub. So I have this separated, right? There should be an EQ in there. Let's unfreeze it and check it out, right? Oh, and the Ozone 7. The Ozone 7 is just for imaging. Back when I made this track, I would use this to do my imaging, which I don't do anymore. I just use the free Imager 2, Ozone Imager 2, and I love it. I would definitely recommend it. If you don't have it, 100% go get that shit. And I'm just checking to see if anybody has any questions. Cool, we're good to go right now. So, and then this is, I believe I probably had a cutoff going on here before I freeze and flattened it, which would... Oh, I didn't! Bad! Very sloppy. Fuck me, bro. Why didn't I do that? I probably did, and then put some sort of like distortion plug or something afterwards that introduced those like low-end artifacts again. But 100% should have had a cutoff going on right here. Because anyways, you want this to just play everything like north of 100 frequencies, and then this sub is going to take over all the way down south. So that's literally all it's doing. Cool. Way too much time spent on that instrument. Nobody probably cared that much. Moving on. Oh, and I also introduced these drums, which is cashmere clap, and then what's the closed hat? Oh, this is the low classic from one of the Lex Luger packs. Yo, cool. All right, moving on. Cool, I really like that effect right there. And this was, let's see, I think I made this just by doing like a reverse reverb. Yeah, here we go. All right, let's check it out. Unfreeze. So if I group all this and take it off, here's what it's gonna sound like. Oh no, what the fuck? God damn. F. All right, time to answer questions. Does anybody have questions so far? Because now is the perfect time for me to answer them. Making the melodic garb. Yeah, I'll touch on that. How to get inspiration. Start with a Dylan Matthew vocal. Easiest way. Ask anybody that makes melodic EDM, right? Or do I start with gain staging? I don't. I talk about that on my Patreon. I guess I kind of do, but not that much. See how long this takes. Am I an Among Us player? I actually have not played that game yet. I've watched hella gameplay, but I haven't played it myself. Do I think GarageBand for iOS, iPhone is a good DAW? No. Worthy enough to be called a DAW? Sure. Anything that makes audio and is a workstation is good enough to be called a DAW. But do I think it's a good one? No, absolutely not. It's just not. It's not. First of all, it's not efficient to work on your phone, like at any capacity. Your phone only has so much processing power that it's going to be very restrictive of your abilities. Secondly, it's probably just really fucking clunky. Like, I can't tell you how many hotkeys I use when I'm like producing a song. My left hand, my right hand's on the trackpad, right? And my right hand probably isn't even doing as much as my left hand. My left hand is what's doing all the action. So two hands going at it all the time. Audacity, I've seen that some people can make music in Audacity, and I really just don't get it, but Godspeed, right? Okay, so this little effect right down here. That's with effects. Turn off the effects. So, obviously, major difference. I believe this is... So that's part of the vocal. And all I did was reverse it and then turn it up 12 semitones. Sounds like that. And then put this chain on, which is just a little bit of Little Altar Boy. In particular, the Foreman's pitched down a little bit. Ozone 7 is for imaging, I'm assuming. A little bit of auto pan for some side-to-side action. Reverb, this is what's doing the most of the work, the bulk of the work, excuse me, because it's 100% wet. That's what it sounds like before. Here's after. So, cool little effect that we got going on right there. What's going on up here? Just another swell. So two swells working in together. And then there's supposed to be a reverb tail on this. I'm not sure why there isn't. Fuck. Alright, I have to restart this. Hang on. Not the stream. Just the, what you call it? Oh, Ozone Updater's live. That's probably what's fucking everything up. Gotta reload the project file because it looks like some shit went missing. I'm afraid that's gonna get worse. There we go. With that guy. We're about to get to the spicy stuff. How did I get in contact with Monster Cat? Well, it was actually interesting. I was driving a rental car and I crashed through the front of their building. That was a lie. Hell yeah, I play Minecraft. Use a normal song as a reference in a remix, or you just start off 100% your ideas. Could you elaborate on that? I'm not entirely sure exactly what you're asking. Ratsim, why do I work on a Mac? Because I haven't switched everything over to my PC yet. I have to get a Thunderbolt adapter so I continue to use my UAD when I switch to PC. But I'm actively working on it because I fucking hate this Mac. So... Sorry, 1 second. Cool. Oh, when I want to remix a song, how do I come up with ideas? I don't know. I mean, honestly, usually I just go about my normal like producing process and just the sounds that I use and kind of just throw them into a remix and kind of go off the vocal. I usually play off the vocal a lot. That's the one. Sick. Now that this is back up, let's keep at it. So I showed you this, and this is just a little snippet of the vocal. All right, let's look into this build group a little bit. Nothing really too interesting going on here. Kick, clap. I think both of those are from my sample pack. No, this one's a Lex Luger one, sorry, but I have better ones in my sample pack. Here's another clap. That one goes along with a kick. Here's this little ARP that we got. And that's just a saw and serum, I believe. Going down. I can't. Whew, that was rough. This bass is, again, just a regular saw and serum, or so it should be. Yeah, a little bit more going on. So it's got a filter, 2 oscillator layers, and then the unison is set to 7, and the detune's turned down, and then it's blended so that it's poking out a little bit there. So basically it's just a saw with a little bit more side information going on. That's it. Brass stabs, what are these? Yeah, so those were incredibly difficult for my CPU to handle. So I had to convert that to audio effective immediately. But I just made those with the... No, I don't want to add shit. Fuck you. Get the fuck out of here. These were just made with the brass... Which one? Yeah, brass ensemble staccato in Ableton. Stock Ableton shit, baby. That was it. Cool. Build shakers. This is just a shaker loop that I use in a lot of my songs. It's probably Cashmere or something, or I made it and just keep reusing it. Rising square drops. This is just a riser that I've been using since like 2015. White noise is also a riser I've just been using since 2015. So this is like Monstercat was like, yo, we just want a little bit more like variation in the build up. So I made this like a little melody line right here. So all this is doing is I got the regular right here. It's playing a little melody. It's nothing too crazy, and it's just Serum, Camel Crusher, a reverb, my little OTT mod called Beef, and then this is probably an Ozone Imager. I'm 99% sure that's an Ozone Imager. And then this one is playing a harmony, right? So cool. What I did here that made it a little bit unique from my normal process was I actually panned this one. So this is the root melody. Pan this one a little bit to the left, 12 to the left, and pan this one way more to the right. So you're getting a little bit of like a natural stereo effect. Granted, keep in mind this one's a little bit quieter. Yeah, a little tiny bit quieter, so this one's a little bit more panned to the right. You get a little bit of a natural stereo effect going on. I've been trying to do some panning stereoization lately because back in like the fucking like 70s and shit, they didn't have Ozone Imager 2. They would just be like, yo, play that guitar and put it on the fucking left channel, and play that guitar and put it on the fucking right channel. And they'd be like, there we go, stereo, call it a day. That's what they did. And it sounded really, everything sounded fucking amazing, so. And this is the lead riser, by the way. This is Crankdat Scream Riser, which is a rack you guys will also be getting this month on the Patreon, which is right there. And all that's doing is, check this out, right? So I got a couple automations going on. Unfreeze, unfreeze, unfreeze. Yeah, so check it. We just got a couple automations going on. The FM, the reverb, and the pitch. LFO amount, LFO frequency. And that's the main riser, and I'm actually using that as like an instrument in a lot of my tracks. I'm finding that I'm using it like just about every track now, so. What does my OTT mod beef do versus stock OTT? Honestly, I don't know. It's just a little bit different. I tweaked OTT fucking forever ago and then just like saved it as my default. Called it beef. That was that. So I've just been using beef, and I'm very used to the way that beef works. Beef sounds like it preserves a little bit more of like the thickness of a sound compared to OTT, which in my opinion makes everything sound super, super plastic and frail. But that's just my best guess, and my guess is as good as anybody else's, even though I'm the one that made it. We're on the drop. Oh, this is just a little, we got some vocal action. Swell is this, I think, and the way I make my swells is the same as always. I take a cut of the vocal, throw a reverb and a multi-band dynamics, which would be beef, throw a beef on it, and then flatten it, and then I just take like a piece of that and then reverse it. And there you go, easy swell. Pre-drop vocals. So that's just, that's a vocoder layer that I did. I'm not sure where the vocoder itself is, but that's just the lead vocal stem with a little bit of a little Ultra Boy on it. And then this one is another swell. Yeah, so it's just like a combination of like swells and shit to add a bunch of layers in there. I found it was kind of difficult to get it to stand out. So, all right, we're on to the good shit. Anybody got any questions about the intro? Ouch. Ouch. Why is there freestyle in the title? Because the way that I made this track was like totally just, I don't know how to like explain it, and I probably can't do a good enough job to explain why I wanted to like call it freestyle, but it was just like, it was like freestyle production. Like I did not do my usual production style on this at all. I went completely intro to outro, the entire production, and it felt very like flowy, so I called it like a freestyle, because I was way less particular about like the structure or any of that shit. I just like made the track. That was it, and it felt really good, so I labeled it the way I wanted it to. All right, the drop. These first couple sounds, let's touch on these because they are barely there, but they're important. This is just a little chord thing that I made with my Flutter chord rack, and very, very simple. Root chord, little flutter on it. This bass is just operator. I think it's either a square or saw, probably a square. Yeah, there it is, square 64. That's all it's doing. It's just this little like sort of glitchy pattern. That's it. And then This is the vocal chop again. A little bit of a boost on the root frequency there. Sick. And then here's the ARP. Let's actually dig into this and see what's going on here. Oh, I have some in the MIDI. Let's go. So first of all, this is all done in sampler. I like made sounds and then I put them in sampler, which is pretty different for me. I usually either work in MIDI or exclusively in audio, but I worked in sampler this time. And also the way that I divvied this up was I have the mid layer right here. So this is like perfectly mono. I've just got a little bit of panning going on, I think. Yeah, a little bit of panning, but it's perfectly in mono otherwise. So like if we put a utility on it and put the mono switch on, it wouldn't sound any different. This is all the side. And I did this so that I was able to like perfectly mix the way that I wanted this to sound compared to how I wanted this to sound, which led me to the creation of my favorite rack, Crankdat mid-side separator. You can get that shit on the fucking Patreon. And if you are on the Patreon and you're not using that all the time, then I don't know what to tell you, because I use it all the fucking time. Could easily replace what I had going on right here, but this was the introductory to the thought process that led to the mid-side separator, was just separately processing the side from the mids, not in terms of like EQ or anything else, but just like simply leveling. I wanted this to be able to be leveled differently than this. So I did it like that, and it was very, very efficient for me. The melody that it's playing is just like this. It's going upscale, downscale. I put a little pause in because I didn't want it to be like just, I wanted to kind of do like a, have a little break in there, give it a little bit of a groove, you know what I'm saying? So, is Darkroom in F sharp minor or F sharp major? Because on Beatport the track says on F sharp major. Well, it's in E flat minor. So, I don't know why it says that. I'll talk to the Monster Cat people. What VSTs other than Serum do you recommend? Honestly, I've been toying around with stock Ableton VSTs, not VSTs, but like instruments lately, and they're super OP, like super OP. How do you create the MIDI pattern? How do I create the MIDI pattern? I don't really know exactly how to like explain that. I just kind of made like a little staircase. I talk about the staircase briefly in a Patreon video that I'm still currently editing, which is about how to make chords and how to make melodies. So that'll be up sometime this week. I just got to finish the editing because it's extremely difficult this time because it's very long. So there's that. Here's extra, which I think is just extra layers. Yeah, so this is just a high resample. So it's the same exact thing as up here, just higher. This is the same thing, just lower. There's that. Some brass going on here. And then a choir going on. So we just got a shit ton of layers in this sound. I just wanted like as much like character as possible. Oh, also a saw layer. Oops. And it's literally just operator. That's all it is. Cool. And then another saw layer, which is higher. Oh no, this is a harmony, so it's playing a little bit differently. Again, just give it a little bit more character. And what is this? Oh, that's off, so it doesn't matter. What is this? A little bell sound, just, again, even more character, so that all together, like, it sounds like this. Or I can isolate this. Now compare that to just if I left these two layers and didn't add in the extra ones. it's way less energetic, right? So cool. Let's get onto the chords. So that's just my flutter chord rack, which I'll give you guys in the Patreon because like I don't use it anymore. I made a new one. So I'll give you guys this one if you want. You can fuck around with it. I'll like optimize it and all that stuff. The chord slayer. Let me write a note. I'll make sure I get you guys the chord slayer by the end of the week. Cool. Yeah, chord slayer. You guys can 100% have that. And let's see, I need to find the automation. Yeah, so in this like flutter, you just automate like what you want it to play. Here's what I put. So got that cool little pattern going on. So that's the chords. That's really it for the chords. Bass is... There's like a super saw layer, which is Serum, as always. I don't know what the grain delay is doing there. There's probably no good reason for it. Again, I made this 4 months ago. It was a little bit of a blur. Grit, I'm sure this was made in Operator just with the distortion. You could probably recreate this by doing the what you call it, the mentality that went into a sound like this, and I've been doing the same technique multiple times, is what led to the Operator crossfade and Shitstorm distortion rack, which I gave you guys like a couple weeks ago on the Patreon. So you could use that and remake that. Modern Talking is barely even audible, but that's just from Massive. So all three together sound like this. And of course we have a high pass about, yeah, it's at like 200. So what that's doing is just allowing room for the sub to come in, and here's the sub. And this song was pre-maximal sub. If you know, you know. If you don't use maximal sub, you're missing out. But this song was pre-maximal sub. So this is just a sub patch that I made in Operator. And that's it. So that's really all the synth work, I think. What's this? There's just a vocal chop right there, stab. Let's take this ARP, these chords, this bass, and this sub, and see if it sounds any different. So that was it. That's everything right there. And then lastly, we have... oh yeah, rhythm, right? So this little sound, I actually really like this. So let me unfreeze this real quick and show you exactly what the fuck is going on there. So, oops, I don't need to put that in. This can stay out. So that's what it sounds like now. If I turn this off, here's what it sounds like. And that's actually just a snare on Splice. Where is it? This one. It's literally just that snare. Pitched down quite a bit. There it is. So pitch down, and then in the processing chain we have just put it in mono before processing, a comb filter. That's what's doing all the work and making it sound tonal. This is functioning as an imager. This is just a glue compressor to catch some of those peaks. High pass filter, and then just a little bit of EQ work, and that's it. That's that sound right there. And here's just the vocal chop from earlier. I think it's pitched down. Oh no, it's exactly the same. So yeah, there it is. Here's one of the Teddy fills from Splice. I like these a lot. Teddy killers. No processing, just... And that's really it. Let's take a look at the drums. First of all, I have a different master on. This is the Crankdat basic master that I gave to you guys in the Patreon, which is the master that I'm actually using now. But at the time I made this, that didn't exist, so I used this. So both are in the project file if you download the project file from the Patreon. But this is the one that I have turned on so that everybody has access to it. This is the one that I actually produced it with. So we'll turn this on so the drums sound a little bit different. We'll turn the Gullfoss off though, so that, oh, the Gullfoss is off. We don't get as much lag. And honestly, the other one probably sounds better. And I didn't even actually do the master with that one. So here's what we got. Start with a kick. This is a kick that I made for a remix a long time ago that got rejected. It's just a Lex Luger kick from Splice, layered with just like this trap kick sample pack I got forever ago off the internet for free to give it a little bit of a crunch. So pretty thunky. Yeah, pretty thunky kick, not too bad. Here's the snare, which I'm not sure which snare sample I used. I think I was also using the snare from this, which Sultan snare with like this festival snare. It's almost like a Prida snare, super obnoxious. Wait. Sorry, I forgot to check the chat. What preset for the combs? There is no preset for the combs. Hang on. Yeah, I did rename the channel as Rhythm. What preset for the combs? There is no preset for the combs. All that I did was turn it on right down there. See, no preset, just right down there between 20 and 30, depending on what key you're in. You'll get the wonkety wonk sound you want. Snare sounds like this. And that is a couple layers that we got going on here. First things first is the regular snare layer. This is a rack with two different types or two different snares on it. The first one's the Sultan snare, which is off Splice. I've been preaching about his snares for a hot ass minute. This is a festival snare that I got off Splice that is just like stretched to be super obnoxious. Together they sound like this. Easy. And then underneath we have the metal snare layer, which sounds like this. And this rack actually also got replaced by Crankdat metal snare processor. It's a rack work in progress, but I don't use this processing chain anymore. But that's what it sounds like. And then there's another layer on top, which I think is just higher pitch. Oh no, just a different metal sound to give it even more texture. The metal snare is delayed by 37 milliseconds. This one's delayed by 47, just to give it a little bit more of like a slap. And that's that. That's the snare. High percussion. A lot of high percussion going on here. It's probably why this sounds like... I'm not very happy with the way the high percussion actually came out in this, listening back to it. I would have changed it if I didn't make it like 4 or 5 months ago. So we got a bunch of hat stuff going on. Aside from that, we got the white noise ride that I have, which I'll also give to you guys before the end of the month on the Patreon. Sounds like that, just like super bouncy, super fun. For hats, we got... So there's just a fucking concoction of shit going on here. We got this crash, which it says crash on kick. This is layered, so every time the kick hits, it goes like that. This is just a ride that goes on every beat. Make sure you tune your rides, people. Biggest fucking problem I hear in a lot of tracks is that the rides aren't tuned. Here is another ride. This is the offbeat ride. I think it's actually the same ride, just louder. Here is just this little dancing hat that's, I think, it's not even, it's just doing its own thing. As you see, I didn't like put it on the grid. I kind of just like fucked around and threw it in there. And it made a cool little groove. And here is the last piece, which is, that's just something that gets layered on the snare. So I guess that would be part of the snare. So snare, and this just adds a little bit of like high end to the snare, I guess. And the last hat that we have here, I believe, is this one, which is just some panning hats. I guess I could have done this with the delay thing, but I wasn't using that as much at the time. So this is, this one's hard pan to the left, this one's hard pan to the right. As you can see, there's just a little bit of like separation between the two, and they sound like this. Just some spinning hi-hats just like that. So
Give me something.
cool. So that's pretty much the drop. Anybody got any questions about the drop? That's it. Fuck. How do I personally tune my percussion? By ear. I do it by ear. I just try to tune it so that it's in like the closest note that's in key that I like. Guess that makes sense. Wait, how do you create variation between drop 1.1 and 1.3? Do you mean I don't tune my kicks. Janu, what exactly do you mean? Do you mean like right here? Like the chord rack is this rack that I made called Chord Slayer, which is basically just the rack that I've been using for my like fluttery chords, and I'll give it to you guys on Patreon. Sounds like you added more elements in 1.3. You mean just like right here? Janu? Yeah, so it's playing a little bit of a different melody. Instead of going, here, let me find it. Instead of this, it's going up a little higher. There's no extra layers, it's the same thing. Just playing a little bit of a different melody, and that top note is going up higher, as you can see. It's like up here compared to down here. And then there's the spinning hi-hats right here. So this is like the 1.1 or the 1.3 as you called it, which I would call the halfway point of the drop compared to the beginning. So the spinning hi-hats make a fuck ton of difference. Oh yeah, the Patreon is ridiculously OP. I will not lie. I would definitely recommend it. Obviously I'm biased, but we're making some, me and the Patreon squad are making some very vast improvements to our production games as of lately. I don't think there's a single person that like doesn't fuck with it, that does it. If they do, then they have yet to tell me about it. So, and I'm all ears. How do you switch into drop 1.3 to make it flow nicely? Really, it's just like copy and paste. I don't have anything like transition wise. Hello, Jacob. How we doing, sir? Thank you, Diego. It took a lot of courage to shave the hair. And by courage, I mean I was just fucking sick of it, so I got rid of it. So let's move on, Janu. If you're all squared up on that, no, you're cool. You're cool, bro. No need to say sorry. How do I decide to do it for the break? You mean like after the drop?
Give me some.
Yeah, so I just I have like an entire different section. So yeah, let's dive into that. Good time to dive into that. Let's mute the vocals and just look at the production for a second. So, almost an entirely new set of instrumentation. The only thing that I kept was the kick, and I believe I have... Yeah, so this like filter and massive volume drop comes on right here to make it way less impactful. So there's the kick. That's not obviously that important. The snare is just another snare. There's a Tynan snare layered with like a Xylem snare, just to be like pretty tonal. And then there's like a reverb on both, and then I really emphasize the root frequency. So there's that. Getting into the instrumentation, right? So what did we put here? There's this analog bass once again that we saw earlier up in the intro. Right there. That's playing the bass line. Here's just a little FX guy. I did a really bad job of organizing this track. I apologize. All my later, newer tracks are much better organized. Here is just a melody that I made. And this was actually made using like a bell, I think, and expand. And then I threw like a reverb on it. And then I did the automation, like the automation to make it play notes, like right here. That was just the way that I wanted to do it, because I wanted it to be like almost like bendy instead of like separate notes. I know, I need to color code my shit on this one. Chords, this is the chord slayer once again, just doing something different. So everything's like really filtered, way less shit going on. Just much more like somber production going on here. ARP is... I think it's the same ARP as before. Let me see. No, it's a little bit different. So I made a different ARP, but it's really just like some plucky serum shit going on. I flattened to save CPU. Easy. And then here we got, what's this part? Yeah, so back of the vocal chops right here, nothing special. We've seen all that. Here's a bell. And a boom kick. And now here is the one thing that was extremely difficult to make, and I didn't make it in Ableton. I did not make it in Ableton. As you can see right here, I actually made this in FL. This is when I was still like fucking around with like both Ableton and FL at the same time. So I made this sound right here in FL with the vocoder. That's the FL vocoder. And then I just bounced it, brought it into Ableton, and so this filter's doing the bulkhead of the work. So that's that. I think it's actually just that war horn just run through the vocoder in FL, if I remember correctly. I didn't save it, so I don't know. But yeah, that's like... There's another one that was from FL that's just a little bit different. So it's all these layered on top of each other. That one's just reverb, so. What's interesting here is that the sub is actually doing the opposite of what these sounds are doing. These sounds are starting low and then going high. And the sub is doing the opposite. It's creating like this kind of separation effect where the sub is starting high and then going low. So all together it sounds like this, right? So pretty crazy sound right there. I was very proud of how that turned out. What else do we have? Oh, I guess we got to dive into the vocals. And then I think there's only like one other sound to really tackle. So here's the vocals, right? Come on.
Give me something to hold on to. I can't help how I think about you. You've moved on like I'm about to. 'Cause you don't really know my.
So one more time.
Give me something to hold on to. I can't help how I think about you. You've moved on like I'm about to. 'Cause you don't really know my.
Let me see. Seeing if there's any questions. Hang on. Grego Music, where do I find vocals to do vocal chops? Answered that one earlier. Throw it in again. The vocal chops that I've been using lately are almost exclusively Dylan Matthews like vocal pack that he did with Kara on Splice. It was actually hilarious. He like dropped in and it was like, that vocal sounds like shit, and I lost my mind. Dylan's amazing.
I've been trying to get to you.
They sound incredible and they're just so easy to chop up. It's ridiculous. So yeah, Izaki Music. I'm very comfortable sharing my information because I don't give a fuck. As far as I'm concerned, producing is like what I made a really good analogy the other day. Yo, Russ, are you in here? Russ, what was the analogy I made? I said something like Ableton and like all the shit that I do here in Ableton, like even the project files. It was the project files, right? All the project files is like the hammer and nails. And I can build you a birdhouse, right? So I can build a birdhouse. This is my birdhouse. This whole thing is my birdhouse. I can build a birdhouse and I can hand it to you. And I can do that every single fucking day over an entire year. And you might kind of figure out like how I make my birdhouses, but you're not going to know exactly how I make my birdhouses. Even if I give you the birdhouse, even if I give you the hammer and the nails that I use to make my birdhouse, you're still not going to know how I made my birdhouse. You can put as many pieces together as you like. You can use the same exact tools and you can try to figure it out as closely as you possibly can, but you're not going to be able to make it exactly the same way that I make my birdhouse. And that's how I look at project files. It's like, I'll give you the project file. I don't give a fuck. I have nothing to hide in these project files. Nothing that I'm doing is so revolutionary that I have to keep it from the fucking world. I can give you the project file and you can dissect it to a T, and you're still not going to know all the exact same ways that I make my music, because it's the process. It's not what the birdhouse looks like. It's not how the birdhouse was built. It's the process that goes into, you know, what you do to make that birdhouse. So you can have my fucking project files all day long. I'm going to charge you because right now I'm unemployed, but you can have my fucking project files. I don't give a shit. I have nothing to hide. I will continue to give out my project files. Nothing to hide here. Anyways, all right, so the vocals. Let's start to break these guys down.
Give me something to hold on to. I can't help how I think about you. You've moved on like I'm about to.
So first of all, we have the lead right here. And it sounds like this. You can hear that there's like a lot of processing on.
Give me something to hold on to. I can't help how I think about you. You've moved on like I'm about to. 'Cause you don't really know my.
So really all that is just basic vocal processing, the same way that anybody else processes vocals, and then a little alter boy to make it like mildly higher pitch. This shit is just like imaging. RC20 is just giving it that like vintage effect. And then this, I think it's just like imaging and shit. So, but that's like not even on right now. So this is exactly what it is. This was done in a different Ableton project file. So unfortunately I can't really show you that. I didn't save it.
Give me something to hold on to.
But that's what that is. And then the post-processing layers that we have behind it, we have this swell right here. I talked about how I did that earlier. If you didn't hear, once again, all that is I just take like one like word from this vocal phrase, cut it, throw it in a new track, right? Put a reverb on it, and then like an OTT or a beef or whatever, freeze it, flatten it, and then there's going to be a really long reverb tail, and I'm going to reverse that reverb tail. That's how I make the swell. That's exactly what this is right here. So we got a bit of a delay here. Just to fill the space, nothing major. Reverb. Same thing, just to fill the space, and then this is a reverb stab.
I'm about to.
Because like after this phrase right here where there's this empty period, it felt really empty, so I was like, what can I put in there to like fill that space? Did the reverb stab. Here's the vocoder layer. I did this in Ableton, I actually believe.
Give me something to hold on to. I can't help how I think about you. You've moved on like I'm about to.
So that just adds a little bit of extra flavor. And was this on?
Give me something to hold on.
Yeah, you could barely even hear it. That's not even important.
Give me something to hold on to. I can't help how I think about you. You've moved on like I'm about to.
So that's it. That's really it. So you have this like lead, very center vocal.
Give me something.
And then there's all the shit behind it. You got your swell, delay, reverb. What? Momo. What? You coming? Momo. You want up? Okay, come on. Come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. He puts his paws up on my chair, and that's how I know he wants up. He used to jump, but now he just knows that I'll pick him up, so he doesn't care. All right. So, Momo, we just talked about the vocoder layer and the vocal layers and all that shit. And then this, I showed you guys this in the production. So, back to the build-up right here.
You don't really need
Same build-up as the one before. Only difference is there's now the vocal chop in there. And drop 2, here we go. Sick. All right, let's look at these sounds right here. This is in a group called Bass Shots, and I don't remember exactly how I made this. Let's take a look. So I think this is just like, there's some chords down here with these notes, and then this is... Cool. Yeah, oh, I see what's going on. Okay, I remember how I did this now. So it's just operator, right? And then there's a frequency shifter going on that's doing this like little bend. And I'm not sure why the delay is here. Oh, because it's giving it that sort of like wonky metal effect. Sick. So that sounds cool. Underneath we just have this bass shot, which is bass shot 4. That's from one of the sample packs. Let's see. August? It's from one of these ones. Maybe I haven't given bass pack 4. It's not from November, I can tell you that much. November's still a work in progress. And there's just this sub chop underneath, which is actually filtered out, but some of the harmonics still come out. I think at the time I didn't know I was going to filter it out, so I put it in there, but then I just left it there. Cool, so what's going on here is there's an entirely new sound. We got this laser sound. And I made this using the same exact processes that I use with Crankdat Laser Synth, which is right there, which I think is already on the Patreon. If not, again, I'll give it. I don't care. Nothing to hide. This is a bunch of different layers that you could have essentially put in like a chord stack, but it's all the same sample, I believe, just playing different notes. So here's the first one. I think this is the main one. Cool, so that's just playing a long, drawn-out note, which is... Can't tell what note that is. Probably like F sharp or something like that, F sharp or G. This one, I believe... Yeah, it's just higher up. So just adding a little bit of... Yes, Momo. What would you like? Adding a little bit of a whistle tone to it. This one, I believe, is a harmony. So it's playing a different note that's kind of forming a chord. And that's hard pan to the left, same as how we did that like hard panning trick earlier. This one is pan to the right, and I think this is a whole other note, an even higher note. Yeah, so you got like two harmonies going on right here. This is the root note. So it's making a chord, so that's what's going on right there, and that's why it feels so full. If I were to take all these out and just have this one, it doesn't sound nearly as full. Put these ones back in. So that's what makes up this sound, and yeah, just very different from how I... Momo! You gotta be comfortable, dog. You're fine. You're fine. He gets so squirmy. He just wants to squirm, and his claws go in my thighs, and it hurts. You're fine, dog. I know you're excited. You're literally a puppy, and you're a cat. The fuck is wrong with you? Only other difference here in this layer is that there's this ARP, which is another unique ARP. That's just playing that. I made that in Serum. I wish I had that patch. It's not super complicated. It's essentially just using the LFO to jump between octaves. Really fast like that. What is this? I don't remember what any of these are. Oh yeah, just more like ambient layers. Again, doing the same thing, forming chords with different layers. That's what all these are doing. All these are just sounds that have reverb on it. Like this. Come on. So yeah, that's all these layers. That's what all of these are. This one is... That's the gritty bass layer. So that's that. Oh, we've already been through all those. Cool. And then we still have the ARP down here. It's playing pretty much the same thing, but a little bit different. I think this is playing the same MIDI pattern that this one was. So I just took all these instruments and I was like, yo, go play this MIDI pattern. So, oh yeah, well, here's the MIDI right here. It's just doing this. Very, very simple. V's all around. Boom. Everything else is exactly the same. Sub's the same, bass is the same, chords are right there. This is the same thing. That's that drop. So here's what we got for the outro. We got a piano. Very basic piano. I just used the east-west play for it. There's the MIDI. Same MIDI rinsed again, just without the bass. And we add this bass in. Ow, Momo, your claws. Do you want to go? Is that what you want? Do you want to go or you want to stay? He wants to go. Probably wants to go sprint around the house for no reason again. And then this is just this little ARP, playing this like melody that I made, which again, kind of just like freestyled. And in this patch, I'm trying to figure out what exactly I did. I don't think I did anything. I think this is just exactly what it is. So it's just this square wave that's playing this like weird little wonky melody. I think it's got a bit of a glide going on. Where is it? Where the fuck is glide in operator? I could have found it anytime I wanted to, except for right now. What the fuck, dude? What is going on? Where the fuck is the glide in operator? Why can't I find this? It's not there. It's not. Is it here? Am I just like not seeing it? Found it. There we go. Okay, glide is right here. Just turn glide on and turn the time up a little bit so it slides a little bit from note to note. Boom. Wasn't that fucking hard. And then this is just the post-processing, a little bit of redux going on here. Some delay. That's what really does it, is the delay. Vocoder set to modulator, which kind of just makes it sound a little like wonky and wet. I love the modulator. I'm going to make a video on that soon at Patreon, homies. And then a little filter sliding up. And that's it. And then the vocals come in one more time.
Give me something to hold to. I can't help but think about you. You've moved on like I'm about to. 'Cause you really mean my love.
And there's some like ambience right at the end there, which is right here. Ah, yeah, crickets. And then a little click right there. Boom, done. That's the track. Everybody, that is Darkroom. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you like that song. If you don't, that's fine. If you don't like it and got something out of the project file, that's even better. So I'm not going to touch on the master because, as everybody knows, if you are on the Patreon, that the Patreon is where you find out all my information about mastering. I have a 30-minute video about how I do my masters, which is the best thoughts to word process I've ever managed to accomplish in my entire life. So if there's one video that you watch, that's the one to do it. I'm not turning off the stream though. I'm about to start a new track, and we're just gonna give it like an hour of working time, see how much we can get done, and then figure it out from there. So you're gonna get to watch me rinse a lot of the Patreon racks and samples and all that shit. I'm gonna use as many as I possibly can, and yeah, let's get it. So this is Darkroom. Once again, if you fuck with the project file, if you want like the project file for whatever reason, if you want to fucking collect it, if you want to like dissect it like to the bone further than I did in this video, you can get that in the mechanized master tier of my Patreon, which also comes with a lesson. It's a monthly thing, and I guess it's a little bit pricey, but what you're getting for it, I don't think anybody will argue that it's worth every dollar. So just my 2 cents though. But let's start a new track. I'm not going to save this because it's already saved the way that it should be. Oh. Yeah, dog, you can use anything. I have a house music side project I'm working on, so I can help you there big time. All right, let's get something going. First things first, I want to get some claps in here. Let's go like this. This is a clap loop from the September pack. We're going to do 140 beats per minute. Set it to transients. Get some breath shakers in here. No, let's get them from Finder. I think it's like 150 beats per minute. Let's go get like here, I want to go back. These are the stems from Kneel Before Me. Oh no, they aren't. They're the stems from Darkroom. Let's get the Kneel Before Me stems. The fuck, dude? Why can I not find this? I'm able to find this all the fucking time. Before Me, it's not the stems. Maybe it's here. No, not here. Crank Computer is holding up well. I think my workflow has changed enough to where it's like not nearly as bad as it was. I'm still switching to PC though. All right, I can't find this, so we're saying fuck it. We'll use something else. Let's get some chords going in here. Yo, check this out. You ready? Here. Let's do. Let's just do an operator. We're gonna work in E minor. Make this cool. Now you ready? 2 clicks and it's perfect. 2 clicks and it's perfect. 2 clicks and it's perfect. Look at this. Crank drip. Oh! Oh! 2 clicks and it's perfect. Mama! 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 2 clicks and it's perfect. 2 clicks and it's perfect. Cool, that could be fun. Let's get a cooler sounding instrument. Actually just get like some brass. Brass. Get some like breakbeat shit going on. I like this one. The Virtual Riot most of this one. Sounds like the Amen loop, but it's like a bit different. Oh, Momo's looking out the window again. Cool, that sounds cool so far. Let's get like a little bit of an ARP going on in here. Let's do the Momo, that was you. You were scratching your ear and you dinked the window. That was you. Cool, we're sounding good so far. We might get a vocal chop going on in a second here, but I want to do something else here first, like do one of these. The November pack. The November pack is turning out kind of stacked. Might keep that one, we'll see. Might switch it to another one. I want to filter this out though, get that sub bass out of there for right now. Actually, I'm gonna sample something real quick. Yeah, I want to get a sample.
Sun is down, we already know.
All these sound like shit. Maybe go like that, and then we could just like flip the low end and add our own with the maximal sub. Like that. Still sounds like shit. What the fuck? Alright, fuck it. We're bringing in the guy. Kind of sounds like shit, but we'll fix that later. I want to get the idea out more. Anybody remember Soundfucker? Now it's time to fix the sound a little bit more. Cool sound. You want it? Boom. Probably lengthen that sub a little bit. Yeah. Cool. Boom. This, oh, it's not labeled. Cool. Go get this. Throw it in the monthly packs. Dicko mode. By the way, this does not sound anything like the original. Here's where we started. Oops.
Gone on you with the pick and roll. Made this here with all that.
That's where we started, and here's where we ended. Let's go. This is obnoxious. This brass ensemble is a little bit of a pain in my ass. I want this into the background a little bit more, so we're gonna go like this. No, Mama, you can't have that chicken. Nope. Let's see if we can use like one of the sounds from where is it? Oops. One. Yeah, this one. We're just making a big ass mess now, and we'll clean it up in a little bit. Now, what am I doing? We can just use a maximal sub. I gotta just, yeah. I've been like doing this, exactly what I'm doing right now. I've done this like 4 times because I just haven't like rendered this to sample yet. So I'm gonna do it right now. And freeze it, flatten it, sick, like this, like this, like this, like this, boom. I want to figure out how to like make this cooler. This is like not that cool yet. Maybe it's because these drums like aren't actually like that like punchy. Maybe I need to like that's what it was. And then go and do like a look at it. Last month we had so many fucking kick drums. Shout out Anton, let's go. You're up to bat, sir. Let's see, do we have any good snares for this? I'm sure we have something. Yeah, this will sound good. Tighten up that tail. Okay, we're making some progress. Yeah, so we made that using, oh fuck, I haven't even used this in a hot ass minute. Let's see. This is an unreleased rack that'll come out sometime soon, but we kind of figured it might be too powerful. There it is. So insert a snare kick out or whatever and then start moving the time around. Let's try, let's see, this is like a rack I made a while ago, and then like I sent it to Anton and we were like fucking around with it to see if it like was actually doing what I thought it was doing, which is just making like insane kick drums. So let's see, it says get a hat. Do this one. Turn this up a little bit, probably. Maybe not. Sounds like this isn't quite doing anything. Might have to fix that. Oh, I see. Oh, I see. I was playing the wrong note. Gotta be C3. There it is. Sick. Now here's this one. Try a different kick. In a different hat. This could work. freeze it, flatten it. Boom, brand new kick drum. Put a soft clipper on it, keep it from fucking sick. Flatten. Go in Finder. Throw this in the monthly pack, and we're gonna call this Butch Kick. Boom. So yeah, that was basically how we made how I made most of the kick drums, and Anton made that one. This is the Anton kick. Sounds pretty good. And there's the one I just made. So yeah, I made a kick drum generator. I don't know if I can give it away. It's like way too powerful. Instead, I think I'll just give you the samples. Anyways, I have rides here. Maybe do this. Oops, why? Oh, I see. No! Oh, okay. I accidentally hit the H key. Why? What are you doing? What's wrong? Why isn't my fucking mouse working, dog? What the fuck just happened? Why is my mouse not working? Can I work exclusively in... No, I can't. All right, well, let's save this as glitch bass idea. Should save way quicker. By the way, join the Discord. Everybody type !_ Discord right now. Every single person. Every single person. I don't care if you're in it or not. Press it. Boom. Boom. Yeah, I saved. Oops, that's the wrong one. What the fuck? It didn't save at all. What? Yo. That's mad annoying. That's so fucking stupid. Did everybody just watch me fucking save it? All right, that's fine. We're just going to start a new one then. All right, what do we have? I need the claps again. All right, now let's maybe let's do something a little bit different. Take it a little bit of a different route. Let's go Let's touch on expand a little bit, because didn't really get to look at that much earlier. Do one of the ethnic ones. This will sound cool. And I'm going to go get the lo-fi, which I'm actually going to retitle. The other thing I'm going to add in here is a reverb knob, I think. Let me think, what kind of melody do I want? Cool. That was easy. Get that string from last time. Remember that first string that I talked about in Darkroom? We're going to do it again. I wish I could, whatever. I said I would do some vocal chops. Let's chop some vocals real quick.
I know it's hard. Hold tight till the sun comes up. Try to be on it. My phone lights up, but it's never you. I can't help but feel so lonely. I know there's things that I can't undo. I'm falling apart so slowly. It's never. My phone lights up, but it's never you. My phone lights up, but it's never you.
Yep, it's in this key, B flat minor, and we're working in E. So we got to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 up.
My phone lights up, but it's never you. I
Can't help but feel so lonely, and all these things that I can't undo. Falling apart so slowly. My phone lights up, but slowly. My phone
Cut up some syllables, yeah. Is gonna have to go back.
My phone lights up, but it's never you. I can't help but feel so lonely. All these things that I can't undo.
Okay, so let's see what we can do.
It's never
It's never you. It's never you, but it's never you. But it's never you.
That's kind of cool. We could probably work with that. So then let's go and do a little Altar Boy sandwich, because we need to now fuck with the formants.
But it's never you. But it's never you. It's never you. But it's never you.
Yeah, that's cool. I can make something with that.
But it's never you.
Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do actually is I'm going to put an auto tune in, just because when you're doing vocal chops, you want everything to be just about as like tuned as possible, in my opinion.
But it's never you. But it's never you.
Okay, now for the little Altar Boy.
It's never you. It's never you.
Okay, so that sounds a little weird. I'm not sure what's going on.
It's never you.
Okay, so this is like kind of soft. I might not start with this, like, it's just a little bit abrasive. Actually, what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna record it, pitch it down, maybe even slow it. Maybe even reverse it. Ooh.
It's never you.
It's never you. I see you.
Ah, shit. I apologize, guys. I'm gonna have to shut the stream down. I gotta get on a call, unfortunately. But we're back, and we're gonna be doing this like way more often. So yeah, thank you guys very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the breakdown of Darkroom earlier. I'm gonna save this so that I can work on it another time. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate you all. Thanks to whoever subscribed to the Patreon. I promise that you're going to enjoy it thoroughly and find it extremely productive. I will see you guys all very soon. Join the Discord if you have not yet. Thank you guys very much. Once again, I apologize. I wasn't planning on ending this early, but got to hop on a call. So, sorry, guys. See you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.